In the deep emerald green forests of South and Southeast Asia, a truly magnificent creature moves with surprising quietness. It is a giant, a colossal beast that seems to belong to a prehistoric age. This is the Indian bison, or as it is more correctly known, the gaur. To see one is to witness raw, untamed power. They are the largest wild cattle in the world, a living testament to the grandeur that nature can produce. Their presence fills the forest with a sense of ancient wonder, a feeling that you have stepped back in time to a world where giants still roamed the earth. They are not merely animals, they are the very spirit of these wild places. The gaur's home is a mosaic of dense jungles and grassy clearings, stretching from the western Ghats of India to the hills of Vietnam. Here, under the dappled light of the forest canopy, they live out their lives. Their dark coats, ranging from a deep coffee brown to almost jet black, provide perfect camouflage in the shadows. They can melt into the foliage, becoming almost invisible despite their enormous size. One moment you might see a herd grazing peacefully in a sunlit glade, and the next, they have vanished into the undergrowth as if they were never there at all. This ability to disappear is key to their survival in a world filled with constant dangers. Imagine walking through these ancient forests at dawn. The air is thick with the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. A chorus of birdsong greets the rising sun. Suddenly, a branch snaps. You freeze, listening. Through the morning mist, a shape begins to form. It is a bull gaur, its massive shoulders rippling with muscle, its head crowned with a magnificent set of pale, curving horns. Steam billows from its nostrils in the cool air. It is a breathtaking sight, a powerful reminder of the untamed wilderness that still exists on our planet, a world that is both beautiful and fragile. These incredible animals are a symbol of strength and resilience. They have roamed these lands for thousands of years, shaping the very environment they live in. They are a vital part of the intricate web of life that makes these forests so special. The story of the gaur is not just the story of a single species. It is the story of an entire ecosystem, of the delicate balance between predator and prey, and of the growing challenges posed by an ever-expanding human world. To understand the gaur is to understand the heartbeat of the Asian wilderness itself, a pulse that we must fight to protect. The sheer size of a gaur is something that must be seen to be believed. A fully grown bull can stand nearly 7 feet tall at the shoulder and weigh over a ton, as much as a small car. Their bodies are a masterpiece of functional design, built for power and endurance. A prominent muscular ridge runs along their back, giving them a formidable, humped appearance. This, combined with their thick, powerful legs and massive head, makes them one of the most imposing animals on Earth. Their skin is thick, and their coat is short and glossy, shining in the sunlight. It's a truly awe-inspiring physical presence. Yet, despite this intimidating appearance, the gaur possesses a unique and striking beauty. Their horns are a wonder of nature, curving upwards and inwards. They are typically pale green or yellow at the base, tipping to a polished jet black. Both males and females have them, though the bulls are far larger and more impressive. Another distinctive feature is their stockings. The lower parts of their legs are a striking creamy white, as if they have waded through a pool of milk. This contrast with their dark bodies makes them instantly recognizable and adds to their majestic look. Gaur are not solitary wanderers, they are social animals that live in small herds. These groups, typically numbering from 8 to a dozen individuals, are usually led by a single adult bull. The core of the herd, however, is the bond between the females and their young. The cows work together to protect their calves, forming a defensive circle around them if danger approaches. It is a matriarchal society at its heart, where the experienced females guide the family group to the best grazing spots and safest resting places. The herd provides safety in numbers and a community for raising the next generation. Life within the herd is generally peaceful. The dominant bull will defend his position against younger challengers, but these confrontations are often more about display than outright violence. The bulls will posture, bellow, and show off their impressive size to intimidate rivals. For the most part, the herd moves as one, grazing and resting together. This social structure is crucial for their survival. It allows them to share the task of watching for predators and ensures that the collective knowledge of the older animals is passed down, helping the entire group navigate the complexities of their forest home. The gaur is an animal of specific tastes and habits, its life dictated by the availability of food and water. They are primarily grazers, but their diet is wonderfully varied. They feast on a wide range of grasses, herbs, shrubs, and even the tender shoots of bamboo. This flexibility allows them to thrive in different forest types. They are particularly fond of the fresh green growth that appears after the first monsoon rains, a time of plenty for these giant herbivores. Their large mouths are perfectly adapted for cropping large mouthfuls of vegetation, and they spend a significant portion of their day eating to maintain their massive bodies. The daily life of a gaur follows a predictable rhythm, tuned to the rising and setting of the sun. They are most active in the cool hours of the early morning and late afternoon. During these times, they emerge from the dense cover of the forest to graze in open grasslands and clearings. As the heat of the midday sun intensifies, they retreat into the shade of the jungle to rest and chew their cud. This process, known as rumination, allows them to extract the maximum amount of nutrients from the tough plant matter they consume. They are also known to be active on moonlit nights, moving silently through the forest under a silver glow. Water is just as essential as food for the gaur. They need to drink at least once a day, and their movements are often centered around reliable water sources like rivers, streams, and waterholes. During the dry season, when water becomes scarce, herds may have to travel longer distances to find it. They are also known to enjoy a good mud bath. Wallowing in mud helps them to cool down, get rid of pesky insects, and protect their skin from the sun. You can often find the telltale signs of their presence in the form of large muddy wallows near forest pools. Their range is not fixed, it shifts with the seasons. Gaur are involved in a form of local migration, moving between different parts of the forest as food and water availability changes. In some regions, they move to higher altitudes during the summer monsoon to escape the insects and find fresh pastures, and then descend to the valleys in the cooler, drier winter months. These movements are not random wanderings. They are carefully considered journeys, following ancient routes that have been used by generations of gaur, etched into the memory of the herd and the landscape itself. The gaur is more than just a resident of the forest. It is one of its chief architects. Through their daily activities, they play a crucial role in shaping and maintaining the health of their ecosystem. As they move through the undergrowth, their immense weight and size create pathways and clearings. This constant disturbance opens up the dense forest floor, allowing sunlight to reach the ground. This, in turn, encourages the growth of new grasses and herbs, creating a mosaic of different habitats that benefits a whole host of other, smaller species, from deer and wild boar to insects and ground-nesting birds. They are also master gardeners, though they are entirely unaware of their work. As they feed on fruits and plants, they ingest seeds. Later, as they travel through the forest, they disperse these seeds in their dung, often miles away from the parent plant. This is a vital service for the forest. It helps plants to colonize new areas and ensures genetic diversity across the landscape. The gaur's dung is also a rich source of nutrients, acting as a natural fertilizer that enriches the soil, promoting healthier and more vigorous plant growth wherever they go. They are, in essence, planting the forests of the future. The grazing habits of the gaur have a profound impact on the landscape. By selectively eating certain types of grasses and shrubs, they prevent any single plant species from becoming too dominant. This helps to maintain a high level of biodiversity in the grasslands and forest clearings where they feed. Their grazing also helps to reduce the buildup of dry, flammable vegetation. In doing so, they can lower the risk and intensity of forest fires, protecting the entire ecosystem from catastrophic damage. They are nature's own fire prevention service, a living, breathing force for stability and balance. Because of this profound influence, the gaur is considered a keystone species. This means that its presence is fundamental to the structure and function of its environment. If the gaur were to disappear, the consequences would ripple through the entire ecosystem. The forest understory could become choked and impenetrable, plant diversity would decline, and many other species that depend on the habitats created by the gaur would struggle to survive. Protecting the gaur is not just about saving one magnificent animal. It is about preserving the health and integrity of the entire forest community. In the animal kingdom, size really does matter. A fully grown adult gaur, with its immense power, thick hide, and those formidable horns, has very few natural enemies. It's truly a titan, a fortress of muscle and bone that presents an almost impossible challenge for most predators. A healthy bull gaur is, for all practical purposes, virtually immune to attack. Even the most ambitious carnivores of the Asian forest know to give these giants a wide berth. The sheer presence of a gaur is often enough to deter any thoughts of an attack. It's a kind of respect that's born out of the raw, undeniable power that the gaur exudes. Now, the only predator capable of consistently threatening a gaur is the tiger. This magnificent striped cat is the apex predator of the Asian jungle, and it really does possess the strength, stealth, and audacity to tackle such enormous prey. However, even for a tiger, hunting a gaur is a high-risk gamble. A single, well-aimed kick from a gaur can actually be fatal. Tigers are intelligent hunters. They rarely risk a head-on confrontation with a healthy adult. Instead, they look for signs of weakness, targeting younger, smaller individuals, or animals that are old, sick, or isolated from the safety of the herd. When a herd is threatened, they display remarkable courage and cooperation. The adults will form a protective ring around the vulnerable calves, facing outwards with their heads lowered and their formidable horns presented to the danger. They'll snort, stamp their feet, and make short, aggressive charges to drive the predator away. A determined herd of gaur is a truly intimidating sight, and more often than not, a tiger will abandon the hunt in the face of such a unified and powerful defense. The safety of the herd is paramount, and they will risk their own lives to protect their young. Other predators, such as leopards and packs of dholes, or Asiatic wild dogs, pose an even smaller threat. While they are formidable hunters in their own right, they're simply no match for the size and power of an adult gaur. They may occasionally manage to pick off a very young or unattended calf, but they would never dare to challenge a full-grown animal. For the most part, the gaur moves through its forest home with an air of quiet confidence, secure in the knowledge that it is the undisputed master of its domain, a true monarch of the jungle floor. Despite their immense strength and formidable presence, the gaur face a threat that they simply cannot fight with horns or muscle. The greatest danger to their survival comes not from the tooth and claw of a predator, but from the actions of humankind. The relentless expansion of human populations has led to widespread habitat loss and fragmentation. Forests that once stretched for hundreds of miles are now being cleared for agriculture, plantations, and infrastructure like roads and dams. The gaur's ancient homelands are shrinking and being broken into isolated pockets, cutting herds off from one another. This loss of habitat forces gaur into smaller and smaller areas, increasing competition for food and water. It also brings them into more frequent contact with humans and their domestic livestock, which is really a recipe for disaster. One of the most serious threats is the transmission of diseases from domestic cattle. Gaur have no natural immunity to illnesses like foot and mouth disease or rinderpest. A single outbreak can sweep through a gaur population with devastating speed, wiping out entire herds in just a matter of weeks. This silent killer is one of the most insidious dangers they face. Poaching also remains a persistent problem. Although the gaur is a protected species in most countries, illegal hunting continues. They're hunted for their meat, which is sold in local markets, and for their impressive horns, which are sought after as trophies. The poachers are often armed with sophisticated weapons, and they operate in remote areas where law enforcement is difficult. Every gaur lost to a poacher's bullet is a tragic blow to the species, especially when populations are already under pressure from so many other directions. It's a senseless loss that robs the forest of one of its most magnificent inhabitants. The combination of these threats has had a severe impact. The gaur is now listed as a vulnerable species by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. Its population has declined significantly across its range, and it has completely disappeared from some areas where it was once common. The shadow giant of the forest is in trouble. Its future hangs in the balance, dependent not on its own strength, but on our willingness to address the problems we have created. The survival of this incredible animal rests firmly in our hands. Thankfully, the story of the gaur is not without hope. Across Asia, dedicated individuals and organizations are working tirelessly to secure a future for this magnificent beast. A network of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries forms the backbone of these conservation efforts. Places like Nagara Hole and Bandipur in India have become crucial strongholds for the gaur. Within these protected areas, they are safe from poaching and habitat destruction. Here, under the watchful eye of forest rangers, gaur populations have a chance to stabilize and even grow, providing a lifeline for the entire species. The role of the forest rangers on the front lines cannot be overstated. These brave men and women patrol vast, often difficult terrain to monitor the gaur, deter poachers, and manage the habitat. They are the guardians of the gaur. Their work involves everything from removing snares and traps to conducting population censuses and preventing forest fires. It's a challenging and often dangerous job, but their commitment is unwavering. They're driven by a deep passion for wildlife and a determination to protect these animals for future generations to admire and cherish. Conservation efforts also extend beyond the boundaries of national parks. Scientists are studying the gaur's behavior, genetics, and habitat needs to develop more effective conservation strategies. Community outreach programs are essential, working with local villagers who live alongside the gaur. These initiatives aim to reduce human-wildlife conflict by promoting coexistence. This includes helping farmers build predator-proof livestock enclosures and setting up compensation schemes for crop damage, turning local people from potential adversaries into valuable partners in conservation. Education is key to fostering a sense of pride and stewardship for their natural heritage. Another vital strategy is the creation of wildlife corridors. These are strips of protected land that connect different fragmented forests. These corridors allow gaur and other animals to move safely between protected areas. This is crucial for maintaining genetic diversity and allowing populations to mix, which makes them more resilient to disease and environmental changes. By reconnecting the gaur's fragmented world, conservationists are giving them the space they need to roam, to breed, and to thrive once more. It's a slow and difficult process, but it is a vital step towards securing their long-term survival. The challenges facing the gaur are complex, and one of the most pressing is the ongoing conflict with humans. As forests shrink, gaur are increasingly venturing into agricultural areas in search of food, leading to damaged crops and frayed tensions with local communities. Finding solutions that allow people and these powerful animals to live side by side is one of the greatest conservation hurdles. This is not a problem with a simple answer. It requires patience, innovation, and a deep understanding of the needs of both the gaur and the people who share their landscape. Practical solutions are being implemented on the ground to mitigate these conflicts. In some areas, sturdy fences or deep trenches are being constructed around fields to keep the gaur out. In others, farmers are encouraged to grow crops that are less appealing to the gaur around the perimeter of their main fields, creating a natural buffer. Education plays a vital role. When local communities understand the importance of the gore to the ecosystem and benefit from wildlife tourism, their tolerance for the occasional inconvenience grows. They begin to see the gore not as a pest, but as a valuable asset worth protecting. Ultimately, the fate of the gore is inextricably linked to the fate of the forests they inhabit. Saving this one species means we must also save its entire world, the ancient trees, the grassy clearings, the winding rivers, and the countless other creatures that share its home. The gore is an umbrella species. By protecting the vast territories it needs to survive, we automatically protect a huge diversity of other life forms. Its conservation is a powerful tool for preserving the rich biodiversity of Asia's wild places, which are of immense value to our entire planet. The story of the majestic gore is a powerful reminder of both the fragility of our natural world and our capacity to protect it. This gentle giant, a symbol of wildness and strength, faces an uncertain future. Yet, the dedicated work of rangers, scientists, and local communities offers a beacon of hope. It shows that when we choose to act, when we work together with empathy and determination, we can heal the damage we have done. The continued presence of the gore in our world depends on us. We must ensure that this shadow giant can continue to roam the forests for centuries to come.